Hi, you guys. Good evening. Christopher, my son Christopher, when he was about 14, was in an accident, and he was at St. Peter's Hospital in a coma for about a week. And it's a time to really think about your life. Your day begins like any other day: breakfast, coffee, shower. The weather's good, and you look forward to seeing friends. Then your life stops, and the elevator takes you down in a sinking feeling. Colors fade, noise hurts your ears. The world keeps moving, but you're standing on the side, sinking into sadness and fear. The doctors give you glimmers of hope, and the nurses try to nurse your soul back. A small nun comes into the room and places her older hands on Christopher's head and asks us to see Jesus holding and healing him. She wants us to see a young man playing football, going on a first date, and just being healthy. He begins to awake from a long week in a coma. We hold our breath. He wants water, ice. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Over and over. The color comes back into my world. Noises are sweeter and welcome, and life returns. Changed, but somehow more dear. Blessings. We don't live in our blessings. We seem to want everything that's either not good for us or doesn't belong to us. Why can't we live up to ourselves? It's one of my fears. I'll die and never have been the person I could have been. Sometimes I can watch or talk with someone and see clearly the blessings they've been given. And sadly, I can tell they can't see it. And how do you tell them? Where do you start? We're so void of courage sometimes to look at our life story and the truth it tells. We're so afraid someone will disapprove of us. How foolish. Of course they'll disapprove. That's a given. But does our heart disapprove, or does it sing when it hears the truth? At one point when the war first started, there was, on I think MSNBC, they were interviewing a man whose son had just been sent over to Iraq. And this man was just so not a man that was used to being on the news, but he stood up, and with a catch in his throat, he said about his son, he said, "He's my heart." And I thought, a father talks about his son in the military, and I catch my breath and feel the tears start. They're the perfect words to use. Our children are the keepers of our hearts. And if we watch and listen, we can feel all the parents praying for their sons and daughters so far away, so young, so vulnerable. I can taste the moments of panic watching the news and thinking of all the frightened parents. Some of them speak English. Oh, massage. This is for Randy Snow. Because Randy did actually come to one or two of our writing classes, and then he flunked himself right out and moved on. I think he just couldn't take all that women stuff in there. But one of the exercises in writing class was about massage. And so I wrote, Italy, summer's eve, and the breeze is coming into the room. Raphael greets me at the door. Italians have a much closer visiting space. He's in my face. He leaves the room, and I undress and climb under the sheet, hoping the customs are not different here and that the sheet remains over me. He uses energy massage. It's wonderful, freeing, and I know I'm smiling. At the very end, he runs the smells of oils under my nose back and forth. The pleasure is indescribable. We meet in the vineyard afterwards, where he wraps me in a long hug and kisses my face. He brings me roses and walks me to my room. I loved Italy and Raphael. That really was fun. Well, there you go. What is love? A question to be felt, possibly not explained. It's the smile when you see them enter a room, a smile that's reserved for just them. It's the pleasure of a shared meal or a shared joke. It's lying next to each other on a hot, humid night and touching each other anyway. It's being safe to be silly and safe to open your heart. It's holding each other's hand or their hearts. It's the sacred belief that we are meant to be together and that we'll be better together than we would be apart, that their happiness makes you happy and your happiness reflects on their face.